I told you it was gonna leak. It leaked. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, we've got it all. Let's take a look. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I bring you guys a brand new video today, and today we are diving into the world of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl leaks. There is a lot to break down in this video, so I'm gonna just be going. We got some crazy news, crazy leaks, crazy data mines, and much more. If you don't want spoilers for the game, this is not the video for you, because we're gonna be spoiling a lot of things in this one. So get excited, guys. It is about to go down. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and get those notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any more of our content. There's still likely things to come over the coming days, but we have pretty much the bulk of it here and now, but I'm gonna continue to make videos over the next week or so leading up to the launch, and of course we're gonna be jumping into some really fun gameplay when the game officially launches, so a lot to be excited about. And also, you guys requested it, so we made it happen. TeamShiny.com, not only do we have the starters, but we have the starter final evolutions. Take advantage of the sale right now. Use code SHINY to get 15% off. You pick up 3 shirts. These designs are amazing, dude. That Empoleon looks so good, man. It looks so good. Let's jump in to all the information. All right, so I'm gonna be, for the purposes of making things simple for me and everyone else involved, I'm gonna be kind of going through some of the Centro tweets and discussing my thoughts of different things. The first thing is, the game itself is about 4.65 gigabytes. Nintendo has indicated that the game was gonna be close to 8 to 10 gigabytes, which means that there's a massive patch incoming if all that holds true, including potentially a 3.5 gigabyte patch. So there's a lot of things that could be missing from this game, and I spoke to a couple of the data miners about it, and I will have sources in the description, of course. And their thoughts are there's probably going to be some updates to, you know, models or kind of animations, perhaps some music updates, things like that. But we really don't know what those patch updates are going to be. But we do know that there's 4.65 gigabytes of game right now, and Nintendo told us that it was going to be 8 gigabytes of game at the end. So that there's a pretty big gap there. That could be a patch. So don't expect Megas to be patched in, but we'll see. From there, we can confirm that the game only has the first 493 Pokemon, no Sylveon. Megas are not in, Alolan forms are not in, Galarian forms are not in. This game was made on the Unity platform, which has data miners and hackers very excited, as apparently Unity is very easy to work with, and there could be some pretty crazy ROM hacks, version hacks of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl over the coming months and years, which is actually really exciting, because fan-made games and modified games are really fun, and we really haven't had a crazy modified version of a game since, like, you know, usually it's like the Gen 4, like the older DS games that get hacked, like Renegade Platinum and Radical Red and things like that. But since this game was made on Unity, there's an opportunity for that to be a little crazier. We've got access to all the different sprites from Matt Yucana, so if you guys want to see all the different sprites, pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy here, just the various sprites. Basically all the way from eggs, Manaphy egg, regular egg, Bulbasaur, all the way to Arceus. There's also some data for the abilities all the way up to Calyrex, but a lot of that probably is not going to be utilized. One of the cool things, we have all the different items that are located in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Notable ones are Nature Mints, Ability Patches, Dream, Beast Ball, Park Balls, and they have a DS Sounds feature, which allows you to actually play the original music tracks on the game. Now, from my understanding, those tracks sound really bad right now. Hopefully those are things that get updated with that day 1 patch that'll be launching when the game officially launches. Some other notable things, you've got things like the Poke Radar, of course, different color bicycles, you got all sorts of stuff. What seems to be the Versus Seeker, some pretty cool stuff there in terms of the different items. You guys can look at the full image here, and again, I'll have the information and sources in the description below. So some pretty cool stuff there. I think it's cool that we'll be able to kind of look at the nostalgic sounds from the original game. From there, we know that there's things like various events going on, and that's something I wanted to talk about. We know that there's a Shaman event coded but not accessible right now. Darkrai also in the game. There's no Azure Flute, but there is actually, before the second badge, you can access 2 mythical Pokemon. You can access Mew and Jirachi. I believe if you had played on the same Switch, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, you'll have access to Mew. And if you played in the same Switch, you played Sword and Shield, you'll have access to Jirachi. And those NPCs are located, I believe, in Floaroma Town, and they'll actually give you those mythical Pokemon, again, before you have a second badge, which is really cool for those who like those Psychic and Steel Pokemon. You can actually utilize them on your playthrough, which I thought was pretty awesome. There's a lot of new locations in terms of the game. There's a full pace spin that breaks all those down. One of the more notable ones is the distortion room. We know there's not going to be a distortion world, but apparently there's a distortion room. There's also a handful of other different locations that are most likely tied to the Grand Underground. So we'll see how all that plays out. Over the coming days, some of this information should be parsed out and we get a little bit more insight. Central reports on a handful of different items. I think those are most likely related to the Underground as well. The Digger, Drill, Kanto Slate, Johto Slate, Squall Slate, Oceanic Slate, etc. These various slates. We'll have to see what those actually pertain to. Centro also reports on the fact that there are, and again, Centro's taking this from the dataminers as well, so just want to make sure that that's clear. There's 826 moves. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl supports 512 moves, so 314 have been removed. Most of the moves that were removed in Sword and Shield are still removed, however, Hidden Power is back. The GTS is the Global Wonder Station, which allows you to use Wonder Trade. So you can Wonder Trade through the Global Wonder Station now. One of the biggest things, and this actually ties to Riddler Coup, who now seems to have a little bit more credibility, is that Raminas Park, which was previously Pal Park, is a place that you can visit, and there's a bunch of blooming roses that attracts great strength, and ultimately you're going to be able to access legendary Pokemon through this Raminas Park, which I believe is a post-game feature. I know that the person who was leaking couldn't access it. We weren't sure if that was in relation to them needing to beat the game and get the full Pokedex or what was going on there, but ultimately you dig up mysterious shards in the underground, you get those slates, and then you use those slates in Raminas Park to access those legendary Pokemon. And I feel like this is actually pretty cool because now that we've dove into this a little bit more in this data mine, there's actually a pretty robust post game, which we'll talk about here in this video. From there, again, I mentioned Darkrai and Shaman events, unaccessible right now. Arceus, unaccessible right now, but those are likely to be patched in. Both Jirachi, Mew, and Manaphy will be accessible from basically the launch of the game, which is very, very cool. There's songs for the Arceus battle theme and things like that, but we don't really know what's going on in terms of Arceus itself, so we'll have to see. All the music has leaked pretty much. People are thinking that they are going to be updated with the music though. From there, we have some shiny information for all my shiny hunters out there. The starters are not shiny locked. However, you do not actually see if they're shiny until you accept them into your party. So it's not Heart Gold, Soul Silver shiny hunting. The legendaries are not shiny locked as well, allowing you to shiny hunt Palkia, Dialga, etc. However, the mythical gifts, Jirachi and Mew, are shiny locked. And from a Reddit thread, we can actually see the shiny animation. This lucky dude in Eterna Forest found a shiny Beautifly, low quality video, but you can see the sparkles, more so old school style sparkles, not the big star from Sun and Moon, which I'm personally pleased about. They ditched moves like Return, Pursuit, Heal Order, and we've also got a couple different things in the game. Hall of Origin music, Azure Flute music, Arceus Battle music, Azure Flute sprite, but there's no Azure Flute item, and there's no text or any Arceus encounters, so we'll have to wait and see what is going on with that. Then you can dive into a ton of different stuff, right? Like Matt Yukana shows the different character customization. I'll throw those on the screen. You've also got all the different seals and ball capsule seals that you can see here, all that good stuff. All of that is available for you guys to look at. You can access the Grand Underground before the post game, which allows you to kind of open up your decks. You can catch a bunch of different Pokemon that would otherwise be part of the National Pokédex, which goes up to the 493, I believe. You can access a bunch of those kind of before post game, so a lot of that is going to be really cool. Handful of different TM changes, so this is all basic stuff. Silverwind for Bug Buzz, Embargo to Nasty Plot, Snarl, Bulldoze, Volt Switch, Scald, just some updated moves that are nice. Junichi Masuda makes an appearance in the game, which is pretty cool. And there's a handful of other things too. I'll dive into some of that really quickly as well. We know that there's some special quirks reported by Caphatics that the originals make a return. There's increased, decrease encounter rates on certain days. There's different hatch rates that are going to be going on. That's stuff that as they data mine more, we'll get more insight into. That was a lot of information to pack into a video, but as you can see, a ton of the information is data mined. I'm gonna go in more in depth over the next couple days about these different things and what these actually mean. But again, a lot of post-game content too that I didn't really touch on that's starting to be parsed out as well, including trainer rematches, gym leader rematches, battle tower aspects. This game was designed to complete 100%, and if you think about the fact that there's really a 2-month window between BDSP and Legends Arceus, they designed it to be fulfilling in that period of time and not a game that you're really going to be playing for the next year or so. And with that in mind, I feel like it may actually be pretty appropriate Until we get that day 1 patch though, we really don't know the full scope of everything, but we have a really good understanding of what to expect here for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I hope you guys enjoyed this news video. Be sure to hit that like button down below, and of course subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I'll be updating you guys with more information and breaking down some of this stuff over the coming days as we get a little bit more information coming out, so you guys know where to find it. Otherwise, head to teamshiny.com and pick up one of our awesome t-shirts, including the Evolve starters, which I know you guys are excited about. Pick them up now. Use code SHINY to get that discount, 15% off if you pick up 3 shirts, and get them before the game actually drops. That's gonna be that for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.